We want to look at a couple of other ways to enter data into the estimate. This is using copies of existing sections and also using templates which have been created from those sections. We'll start with the copying the section. We did one earlier, but let's delete it and go through that process again. We're going to delete the bedroom 2. For my estimate, we're going to go to the copy sections. We duplicate that room. We update the number, so notice that it's a duplicate also in terms of the record number in the section file. So we want to update that to 3. Now that's the third item in the Patrick estimate. We go back to sections. We change the name to, let's say, bedroom 2. It's the same coverage, and we need to change the room number. Keep in mind this room number is not the same as the section number. Oftentimes they will be the same, but not necessarily. Okay, we're going to go to the section breakdown, and we're going to change the size of the room. Let's say, well, first of all, let's look and we can see that the items are already entered, but we need to change the quantities and perhaps depreciation. So we go to the subsection, the takeoff, we change this to, we're going to say a 12 by 12 room, but it's, let's say it's a flat ceiling in this case, so we won't need a slope. And notice that when we do this, that the wall total has vanished here. That's because we've got an entry in the height 2 area and no entry in the slope. The calculation for this field assumes that if there's an entry in height 1 and in height 2, there's got to be a slope determination in order to calculate this. So if you don't want, if you're not using a slope, you need to make sure these are vacant, and then the total will show up here. We click the commit to estimate, go over to the item review, and just go down the list, clicking square footage floor. And we're just going to use the wall dimension here. Ceiling. The linear feet of perimeter. And let's say we don't have any door cleaning to worry about here, so we're going to go through and just delete these. And we're done with our bedroom 2. Now let's look at another way of doing this. Let's say we've got a fire loss. We're going to go back to our manager, and we'll select Bittersweet Company because it's a fire loss and there's a lot of items in that each individual room. We go to the estimate, and let's say we have a third bedroom we want to add. So for whatever reason we decide that copying the section isn't the best way to do this. We want to have a template that we can use in future. So we go to the bedroom 2 screen. Now we are really not interested in the quantities here because the quantities will differ from room to room, and so we're going to go to templates. We can clear all our selection buttons here, And we can manually select the items we want to put in the template. But let's say we do want to use them all. We're going to click this button and it selects all the items. If there's an individual item you don't want to include, you can just click on it and it will not be added to the template. Next thing we do is create a name for the template. And we're going to say bittersweet bedroom. Could be anything. It could be fire, typical fire bedroom or something, whatever you want to call it. Click the to template and it's going to put all those items in the template. If we want the template to apply regardless of quantities, then it's best to go in and delete all the current values for the quantity field, which we'll do here. Now let's say the depreciation amount is going to be the same from this room to the next. If we were going to use this for a template for several different losses or just generic fire loss, we'd probably want to clear the depreciation items as well. But since we're going to use this in the same for the same loss, we can assume that the depreciation was essentially the same from room to room. So okay, now we've done this, we want to go back to the estimate. We're going to create an additional section, which will be bedroom 3. We're going to number it room 7. We're going to create a new room, and let's say it's 10 by 10 by 8. We commit the data. We go to the template screen. Let's say we assume, let's say everything is the same except for whatever reason there's no door. So we can select all of them. We go down to the bottom. We take out the doors. Painting, replacing, removing. See if there's any more references to the doors. Doesn't appear to be, so we would click from the template. It's entered over here, and you'll notice that the square footage items are entered anywhere there's an SFC or SFW. Then we go through, we can do it here, or we can go to the item review screen. And insulation, we got a couple of options here, really. We could just type in, since this is attic insulation, we could go square feet of C, and it's going to enter it. Or we can just hold here and go up and click it. Walls, similar. Now here, we may in fact have insulation, and probably will, on only half the walls. Say it's in a corner. So we'd go to 0.5. Go down. And we want to be sure and set this back. We've got jamb and casing, just no doors. So we got 1. Paint it. Window. Casing, let's say it's 55 feet. And then the other trim, let's see, painting the trim, 55 plus our 40 would be 95. This is just the jam encasing, so that's a duplicate. Let's say, got a choice here. We can use the 55 for jam and just assume this is baseboard. And this is floor attic insulation, whichever was left. And square feet for the and that's basically it. And we go over and take a look at it. Doesn't appear that we've left any quantities out. And that's the way we create and input data from templates. There's one other item of interest. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. We decide after we done this that we don't want to keep the bittersweet bedroom template. It was just temporary, so we can go to here. Now we've got bittersweet bedroom and the template information beneath it. We're going to delete it, delete the whole template. Click on bittersweet. You can see it's no longer in the list. If you go up to roofing architectural, you can see that those are the items that are displayed beneath it. We could look at some other templates in this screen. Go back. You can see that bittersweet is still indicated under the section template name, but there are no items in it, which means that the template itself has been deleted. If we click onto the field, we can see that it's no longer in the database. If we wanted to create a new template, we would just go to Other. It's going to select whatever we just go to Other. It's going to initially have whatever was the last template name selected, in this case Roofing 3 tab. We just disregard that and type whatever new name we want for our next template. This shows there's nothing in that template now. We could go through the process again. Incidentally, you can add to a template. Let's say we had, let's clear them all out. Take the first 3 items, add to the template. Now let's get the last 3. We go down. Get rid of these. So you can add to templates and rearrange them, whatever you want to do. We'll get rid of this.